All right, so hi, Ez. Thank you for coming on. I'm just curious, how do you pronounce your username on TikTok? Because I have been struggling with that for so long, and me and my friends keep arguing about how to pronounce it.
Really? It's it's
Yeah,
it's just like the flower's name, so it's dead hyacinth.
hyacinth. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I know we were going with like hygiene. That does like a play on words with hygiene.
Eugene.
Yeah, it's I don't know. We don't understand half of the words. Anyways, but yeah, so I'm curious because I found your account not so long ago. I think I kept seeing your videos on TikTok, and I'm just like, okay, this is cool. Harry Potter related Marauder stuff, very nice. But what initially inspired you to start doing TikToks? Was it Harry Potter, or would you like do something prior to that?
Well, about TikTok was well, it's I started very long ago, but it was just for fun at first because I was like, no one's gonna see this. It was in the beginning. It was more about Attack on Titan and stuff during middle
Yeah,
school and Marvel and shit. And
yeah,
well, there's this friend. It must have been 1 year ago or something. A friend of my girlfriend, who's now a friend of mine, who said, "Oh wait, you like the Marauders?" And I was like, "Yeah, since I'm like 8 years old." And 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 they said, "You know, there's a fandom for it, right?" I was like, what? And this, yeah, there's a whole fandom with headcanons and stuff, and so I dived in the whole fandom, and here I am. And I started like understanding that I have the same trauma as
very
regulars.
good flag.
Yeah, and like the exact same kind of life without that much of trauma. Let's be honest, and
Yeah.
the same face and hair, and so
Well, it's a mix between Regulus and Sirius, so I feel like it's very hair
yeah,
wise, yeah,
right now I have
yeah,
the hair
Sirius,
up, so it's more serious. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, because I'm not very much a Marauder fan, because I don't really like delve into it. I'm very much more Harry Potter film type. But can you just delve into like if you had to kind of give like a summary as like the Marauder history,
Sure.
would you be able to do that? So I'm curious.
Well, first of all, it's from the Wizarding world and the whole universe of Harry Potter. And long story short, it is we all know the Marauders by the map, the Marauders map on the from the movies and the books, of course. And well, it's the from the Marauder fandom and the Marauder era. It's the plot about Harry Potter's parents and their friends and everyone around that time at Hogwarts. So it was all about. It's also Narcissa and the whole Black family when they were at Hogwarts. It was about Lily Potter. It was about her friends, Remus and Peter, of course. And yeah, it's everything that happened then. And since we don't have that much of information about those characters, the wonderful fandom that's the Marauders fandom said, let's do it ourselves. So we have a bunch of headcanons and that like sometimes get along with others and stuff. And there came some fan fiction. So it's a fandom that lays on a field of headcanons and something that has been built by a whole fandom.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually like the best thing about the fandom is the fact that we did it ourselves. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Especially with like the fan cast, like what like the actors that you guys associate with. Like, do you agree with all of them, or is there someone that you'd be like, "What I'd cast someone else for that character"?
Actually, it is surprising, but I agree with every part of the cast because it is just perfect. Because fortunately, we have some common ground about physical appearance towards the character, and yeah, no, I just literally fell in love with the cast, and I'm like, it's an honor to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's and yeah, I feel like
There's a lot of people right now fan casting you as Regulus. They have completely like, all right, we're gonna completely throw away the guy we had, Timothy. No more. Absolutely not. We're done with him. Now it's all us. We're not doing any of that shit.
yeah, I felt overwhelmed, but in a good way. And I was like, no, that's Timothy's job. I'm just like
Yeah.
a young person who's just a fan of the Marauders and like, hi everyone. So
Yeah. Like, I'm no different than everyone else in the fandom.
of course, exactly.
Yeah.
Like everyone can fit the job. So
Yeah. Every time, because the thing is, I'm a big also Marvel fan, so obviously know that the guy who is like fan cast as James is like in the Marvel film. But every time I see like an edit of him, everyone's like, "Oh my god, it's our James Potter." I'm like, The man has platinum white hair. What are you seeing James Potter for? Like, if this was a Nowhere Boy edit, I could understand that. But it's just interesting. But yeah. What is your... So I feel like in TikTok and like in any social media platform, there's always a downside to it. What is your least favorite part about being on TikTok, would you say?
Well, it will be very not original, but it's the fact that there's also this part of vulnerability. You're always open to slaps in the face. Every time a video can like have that much of views and get some visibility, there's always people like people will always be there to shout something or scream something or point out something that they don't like. But it's just about learning how to let go of those mean people, because there will always be haters, of course. And I think it's that problem because nowadays platforms are commonly used by younger people, even younger than me, and it's dangerous. It's more about the dangerous aspect, the fact that many people can, like, we're young and many people can be naive and think about one comment that harassed them and they'll think maybe that they're right when they're not. And that's the thing about social media in general, not a platform specifically, but we just have to take care of young youth in general. But I think it's also a very good platform. Like, platforms in general are very good because it's also a way to flourish and blossom and learn about ourselves, because unfortunately TikTok and Instagram kind of do the job governments have to do
You don't
sometimes.
have Twitter, but Twitter does the same thing, if not more than that.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair enough, because I feel like, yeah, with any platform, you would get a lot of views, which is the upside of it. And it's like, oh wow, a lot of people are seeing it, but it also leaves an equal opportunity for people to say negative things about you. You have to kind of also have that understanding. And it's just...
I have a very vivid example about it. There's a video I made that was just for fun. It was like 3 a.m. And I was singing, I don't even remember this song that was on my TikTok, and I was raising my arms, and we could see my armpits, who were not shaved because I kind of don't care. And there are so many people who commented the emoji of like the razor, and I was like, okay. So it's just an example among others, but it's stuff that like I was like, at first I was hurt because like, okay, because it was one of the only TikToks that like arrived on the bad side of TikTok, but I was like, okay, well, it's not their decision, and it's something that people have to know and have to learn.
And it's also not even the point of the video. It's just like something that's there. Like, why do you like? I don't know. That's okay. Yeah, I see people comment that on people's TikToks. I'm just like, yo, that's not even the point of the video. What are you guys pointing that out for? Just notice it and move on.
Yeah, it's there will always be ignorant people and dumb people, unfortunately. So we just have to go through it.
You said yourself, like, the Marauder fandom is very much based on the fandom and how they've created it in headcanons. So what is your inspiration behind your videos? Is it really more just the fandom, or do you kind of come up with your own ideas and do other things inspire you along with the fandom?
It's a very good question, actually. I'm very ashamed of the fact that I didn't finish a single fanfiction of the Marauders.
You know, there's probably too many to finish, and too many chapters also, so I feel like...
They're very long. They're incredible, but they're very long, and I'm more of a paper person. So I'm like...
Same. I'm like, yeah, my sister-in-law, I have... Oh, Ezekiel, if you know the books I have in my bookshelf over there, holy cow, you'd be like, I think I can count it, like 15 or 20 that I have not read, but they're all paperback. And my sister-in-law was like, just get a Kindle. I'm like, no. Like, I do not. Like, I have a book. I need, like, flip the page. Yes. Oh my god, Holly Black. Is that book good?
What?
Is that book good?
Yeah, I just started it, and it's very good. It's by Holly Black, the writer of Cruel Prince. But yeah, I think that, like, yeah, Kindles and stuff, it loses the charm of books. The smell, the idea of like turning pages and being like, I gotta see what's behind it. And
but the downside of that is also you always like, if you try skimming something and trying to see where the chapter ends, you could spoil something, and you're like, nope, get that away. Don't want to look at that ever again.
exactly. So I didn't finish any fanfiction, so I kind of like got to the point where I was like, okay, I mainly post about Regulus and Sirius Black. I relate to Regulus, and we kind of have exactly the same traumas, so I just went along what I would do at that time if I was Regulus, and people liked it, so I was like, okay, here it goes.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was more like with everyone that would do stuff on TikTok. I was like, okay, that's a good idea. And I was like, maybe if we do it in another way with Regulus and stuff, or like sounds from TikTok, and it's with the flow, I'd say.
Yeah. You mentioned Cruel Prince for half a minute. Have you read that book yet or no?
Of course.
Yeah.
I read it in I binge read it last year. The first tome for I ate it in a day or less. And the day after, I was so pissed I didn't have the second book. I told my my stepdad, I want the second book. And I was like, I'm going to die if I don't have the second book. And I was like, I gotta go. And he was about to go to a library. So I was like, hey, second book. And so I read the second book I binge read it again. So I read it in a day. So yeah, I read it all. It was so easy to read. It's a wonderful book.
So you relate to Regulus, you mentioned, but do you relate to Cardan? Because one thing I cast you as Cardan as well.
Yeah. It's funny because the reason why I read The Cruel Prince is it's very funny. I didn't want to read it because it was very famous on TikTok, and I am the kind of person who likes to read books no one knows. This way I can like scream at the top of my lungs, I love that book, read it. And with The Cruel Prince, I couldn't do it, and I was like, everyone knows it. And so there's my best friend and another friend of mine who were like, you look like him, and he's an asshole, and sometimes you're an asshole, but in the same way as him. And I said, no, I'm not. And I said, yes, you are. And I was like, I'm going to prove you wrong, and I'm going to read it, and this way I'm going to show you how I am not like Grindria. I read it, and I just shut up. I kept my mouth shut for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're not wrong.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck, but he's an asshole. And I was like, so I went to my best friend. I was like, am I that much of an asshole? And she said, no. But when you don't know people, yes. And I was like, great.
Thanks.
So yeah.
Thanks for the complimented insult.
Yeah. So here's the little story.
I saw it in Barnes & Noble, and I was like, I want to read it, but I also have like 20 books at home that I just cannot read. I just haven't read yet, so I gotta like. I sometimes have sympathy for my parents. I'm like, I can't put them through credit card debt. This is ridiculous.
That is why now I use my own money. I'm like, I have 20.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, I have a debit card. But my parents are like, use your American Express because we get like miles for flights and everything. So I'm like, okay, fine. But then credit card debt for you guys, I feel really, really bad. So they're like, you know what?
About The Cruel Prince, if I have to give you a reason why it's a good book, everyone's like, oh, enemies to lovers, oh, Cardan and Jude, forget about it. Forget. All of it.
Okay.
It is a subplot. The romance isn't the prince, like the main subject, and that's what I loved about it, because I stopped reading it with the conviction that it was going to be only a romance in a fantasy world, and it was not. It is almost like it is 60% about politics.
Lovely.
And it's so well done. The plot is so good. The main character, Jude, is incredible. I hated her for half the first book.
I thought Jude was a guy for some reason.
No, Jude's a girl.
Okay, I was like, wow, I love how the main characters are like or gay characters. This is great.
It would have been incredible.
I wish. That's what I was expecting. Damn. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Now I know.
Well, now you know. And yeah, I was surprised, but in a good way, because I was expecting a romance, and I was like, okay, it's about politics, and it's about a girl who just hates everyone and just wants to be above everyone else. And I was like, okay, girl, go ahead, slay. And I loved it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now I want to get it, but I'm also in the middle of 2 series right now. I'm reading Shatter Me series right now, and I'm reading the series called Addicted Calloway, which is like a kind of, I don't know how to explain the series, but it's about 3 sisters and their sort of love interests. But it's like 10 books long. It's a bit. Yeah. Can I go and get the books? I could show you what I'm talking about.
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna go get some other books because I have some books I want to show you and ask if you've read, because this is, I did not know you were this big of a reader. Hold on. All right. Better yet, I'll just show you this. I'll show you the series. Did you see the pile?
That was
Please note, I don't have all the books with me because I gave one to a friend to borrow, and we had winter break this entire time, so she's been taking the entire break to read it. But yeah, let me just show you. This is I can't even. I don't know how I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to break something. This is the entire series.
Good lord. That is so...
It is 10 books. Okay, because I'll explain to you what it is. It is an original series, and like kind of intertwined with a spin-off. Because the reading order, you have to read like first 3 books of the original, then first 2 books of the spin-off, last 2 books. So it's like you have to kind of get all the books at once, more or less.
Yeah.
I'm not even done. And I've been reading this entire series for a freaking year.
A year? Whoa. Okay, that is...
Well, listen, reading slumps happen. You gotta like kind of give yourself time to, cope. But that's like one series that I'm in the middle of. And then Shatter Me. I only have 3 books of that series right now, including a novella. So it's like very much...
Well,
yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you. I was gonna get more books, but I'm like, this is a schlepp one, like in a way. So I'll just explain the other books I want to ask if you've read. There's a movie that was turned into a book, which doesn't happen a lot. Usually it's the book first, then the movie. But have you heard about Dead Poet Society? Because I feel like you're the type to read it. Stop! No way, you have it. No. Ezekiel, my favorite movie of all time. Don't like the book. Love the movie.
Well, I thought it was the book first and then the movie. So I've been waiting for 5 years to have the book and then see the movie. And like when I get the book, I just put it on my story, and like now I'm still not used to it, but it's fine. Now everyone's been like, "Oh, entering to the story." I'm like, "Okay, hi," and everyone's been like, "But did you see the movie?" I'm like, "No, I bought the book to read it and then see the movie." And I was like, "Yeah, but the movie was first." And I was like, "Fuck, I've been waiting all these years for nothing." So now I don't know if I like watch the movie and then read the book.
I say it's okay. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's kind of the same thing. The only thing I don't like about the book is that the author made one of the characters from the movie seem like an absolute stalker. Like in a movie, he's like very much into this girl, and he like kind of goes out of his way, goes to a party, goes to her school to kind of confess that he likes her. But they made him seem like a person who assaults a woman in the book. I was like, yeah. I was reading the book. I was like, why write him like this? He was not like this in the movie. He copied the movie like pretty similarly all this time. Why try to make this guy look like he's a crazy guy? So that's the only issue I have with the book. Apart from that, I still gave it infinite stars because I loved it and I loved the message behind it. Watch the movie. You get Robin Williams. Come on, like you cannot go wrong with this guy.
Wonderful person. So yeah. Okay. I'll watch the movie first and then I'll read the book because, well, I have that much. Like I have infinite books just like you on my TBR, and I'm like all of them are like 800 pages. I don't have the one I'm reading currently because I'm reading 2 books currently, just like you. This one, it's by Holy Black. I have the title in French, but I suppose in English it's like the Book of Night, something like this.
You think I'm reading only 2 books? I'm reading 5 because I cannot decide on my mind.
I'm reading 3, but the 3rd one is for my school, and I didn't start. But yeah,
you know what? I don't do assigned reading. I can't because especially when they set a deadline, like you have to get to this chapter at this time. No, I will get to this chapter when my reading slump. If my reading slump is gone, it's not for your shit. It's for my books. I'm so sorry to tell you, you're not.
It has to go with the mood. It has to go with the mood.
You're saying these things are like 800 pages. Your books? I can't even tell you how many pages are in all these books over here. There's like, it's like 9 out of the 10 books that I have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
but
still
like,
look at my
I
library
don't know.
now.
I don't know if you'd like this series. I don't know. What is your go-to genre? I'm curious.
Classics.
Oh yeah, no, this is let
No,
me
but it's
read.
oh,
Yeah.
it's classics, or it's fantasy.
Are you not a romance reader or no? Kind of.
Not that much.
Oh, you would hate
I
these
can,
books then.
yeah, I can deal with some romance, but
Yeah.
it's very, very rare when I'm like in that mood where I need a very shitty book about romance. Because when I
Okay.
need romance, I need a very easy one. I'm like, okay, I can read it in one night. Because it's like a small need, you know. But like Shatami never gave me that
Yeah. I don't
desire.
think it's like 300 pages. I mean, it's mostly about a sex addict and an alcoholic. So typical. I don't know how to explain it. They're like childhood best friends to lovers with fake dating, and they have to basically fake that they're in a relationship to like hide their addictions from their families.
I like fake dating trope.
Yeah, but they're
It's
like
one of my
childhood best friends, so
favorites.
it's cute. But like, then you delve into the sisters, and one of the sisters. I talked about this with my last guest. I cut it out of the video because it kind of seemed unnecessary. But like, one of her sisters is like 15 when she like meets the guy that she ends up dating when she's 18. It's just like, okay, it seems very premeditated, very much, because he's like 7 years older than her. So I'm like, but they didn't do anything until she was 18. So I was like, okay, fine. We don't know what his feelings were prior to they got together because they have
Yeah.
their own book with his point of view. But I'm just thinking like he must have felt something with her, like for her when she was a child, because he wouldn't have waited
Yeah.
all these years to get with her. It just, I don't know. It seems like a very weird thing. Anyways, that's just a book series I was going to recommend to you, but since I know you don't like romance, yeah. What other books are there? My God, oh my God, was there ever a book? I'm curious. Was there ever a book that you bought and you were like, I absolutely hate this. Why do people recommend this to me?
Yes. Yes. But it's in French. But I'll look on internet and look at the title in English. It's by Natalie Preston. I'm a huge fan of books with serial killers and people with twisted minds. And it's a book, Natalie Preston books. And I think the name is, it's The Cellar.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
Horrendous. Horrible. No, but the synopsis is very good. It's the plot is there's a girl who goes to a party and like halfway through she's going to that party and like when she's on her way to the thing, there's this guy who kind of like abducts her and kidnap her, and when she arrives in the cellar because she is being kidnapped and she is being kept in the cellar of that guy. That guy has a very severe mommy issues, like worse than Freud. Worse, but definitely worse than Freud. And, well, there are 3 other girls in the cellar already, and they all have names of flowers. And that topic, I love patterns and serial killer shit. And I love flowers, and I love the topic.
Flowers, if you want to talk about flowers, all the sisters' names are flowers. We got Poppy, Lily, Rose, and Daisy. So
Cool. Well,
yeah.
Maybe I'll look, but like, the plot is that, and I was like, okay, that's cool. It is so like the writing. I'm so sorry to say it. For me, it was very poor. The writing was very poor. There was so much triggering. It was very triggering, which is normal because it's about serial killers and being kidnapped. And there are trigger warnings, rape and stuff. But it was not brought in the best way because it was just like, oh, and beyond, with all the things he does that are bad, there's also this, and there's this, and it's just not...
There's a lot of trauma dumping in this book. There's
a lack of harmony in the plot. It's just kind of this, and it's going through the ocean, like a fish that doesn't have a fin, and is like this in the ocean, while it should be like this, kind of. So,
I read one book. I read one book that had like 600 pages in. The beginning was, I'm sorry, amazing. The potential was just gone at that point. Like, at a certain point, it just hit like the 100-page mark, and I was like, no, I'm going to give it time. I'm going to give it time, wait for it to get better. By 300 pages, I was ready to throw this book out the window. I'm like, I cannot believe I wasted money on this.
It is so bad when the book has so much potential, and then you've been reading it,
and then the writer decides, you know what? Let me make this 600 pages instead. It's like, no, cut this at like 350.
I was lucky with The Cellar by Natalie Preston because I have it there. Wait a second.
Okay, I'm gonna go get my book while you go get yours.
I have it in French, of course, but the book looks like this, and it's written The Cellar instead. And so it's very, very short, and it's like, it's 400 pages, and it's just very bad.
This is what I'm doing.
Okay, no, but look at, I'm sorry, but just buy the cover. Yeah, no. How could you have any hope with that?
Okay, no, the back. I'm going to read you the back, and you tell me that this doesn't sound horrible, okay?
Okay.
Okay, this is going to sound very Wattpad-ish, but the end was like, this is it for me. This is it for me. I'm buying it. You read fanfiction. You know what kind of fanfic they could, like, you know, the back they could write. Be like, oh, yeah, this is very Wattpad. Okay. He was a talented bad boy everyone wanted. I was the irrelevant geek everyone hated. He was the sun drawing all of us in. I was a black hole taking up space. He was destined to be a star. I was destined to remain an insignificant no one until he made me feel until he made me believe I was special, and then he destroyed me. I never thought I'd see Phoenix Walker again after he broke my heart, but fate had other plans. 1 tour, 8 weeks, 40 shows, countless opportunities to make him pay. The world thought he was a god, but I knew the truth. I'm like, I'm buying this book. And my friend was hyping it up entirely. She was like, oh, it's great, it's great.
Oh, I'm judging you.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
don't apologize.
No, okay. I was going to give it away, but then I realized I annotated the entire beginning because I was like, oh my god, I love this. This is great. This is amazing.
So it had good potential in the beginning. Okay.
I was like, this is gonna be a 5-star. I love the beginning. By like, I don't even know when it was I stopped annotating. Not even page 300. Not even page 100. Like, yeah, I was like 150. I was like, you know what? I'm done annotating. I can't do this. I cannot do this.
The thing that's horrendous with books is that it is quite. I don't know about other countries, but it is quite expensive. So when you don't like the book, you're like, shit.
Yeah.
I still have to read it because I bought that and I need to use it. So I finished it. Just so you know, for example, the Hunger Games. I'm a Hunger Games whore, okay? Since I am 11 years old. And the first time I read the Hunger Games, I read the 3 books in 5 days. Class days, like week, during class and stuff. This, I read it in like 2 months. It was impossible.
This took me 2 months too. No way.
It's impossible.
It's impossible to read. I mean, all the books, I haven't read a single book this month, and I have a novella that's 130 pages. Why is it taking me so long? I don't know.
Sometimes it's just the energy. You just can't put your energy through it.
And I'm also too busy binge watching Narcos, so I really can't. I don't have time for anything. I really don't have time for books.
Relatable.
Yeah. But yeah. Okay, cool. Wow. So I did not know you were that big of a reader. I thought you were just kind of like more Harry Potter, like you like movies. Okay.
I'm into all type of arts. Like, as you can see, I have like.
Yeah.
I
also saw Heartstopper on your wall at some point in your TikToks. Are you like a fan of the comics or the show? What do you?
I read the comics first, and then I watched the series. And I prefer the comics, but the series is wonderful. I am I admire the person who made the cast because it is a 5-star cast. Like,
yeah, for sure. Even going the extra step of casting the trans person to play the trans character, that was the best.
That's personal, but I didn't see Charlie Spring that way.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But
a lot of people have issues with that.
But the actor was perfect. I was like, okay. Not how I would see him.
Big thing. If it's not accurate to the actual work itself, I always judge them then on their performance. And he seemed to completely like take the stage on that.
He was great.
Same thing with Last of Us. Everyone's hating on Bella Ramsey. I'm sorry. We literally have a black girl playing Sarah. Sarah's blonde and white. If you're not going to hate on her, then do not hate on Bella Ramsey. and just completely like.
I don't agree that much.
I think Bella did a great job.
Is the issue because like the fact that it's not. I am way more flexible when it comes to diversity. Like for example, I didn't read the Percy Jackson and shit, so I don't know. But the fact that Annabeth is Black in the series, I was like, hell yes. Hell yes, there is not a single.
I don't have an issue with that. It's just people don't. They I get why they like. Okay, yeah, diversity is great, but it's also like the only issue the only reason they're complaining about Ellie is because of the hair. You're gonna complain about a hairstyle, but really,
yeah, no,
that's your biggest issue. That's stupid to me.
Yeah, that's stupid. The only thing I don't like about Charlie Springs in the series is that he's not as fierce as he is in the comics. Because in the comics, I relate a lot to Charlie Springs, so he's very important to me. But the comics one. In the comics, he's way much more, like, he is quick-witted, and he answers very well to people, even though, yeah, there is this vulnerable part of him because he's been bullied, and of course you have scars from that kind of thing that you go through.
Yeah.
And I didn't found that in the series, Charlie, but it's still wonderful. Like, the whole series masterpiece because it is really going exactly the way I wanted it to go, and yeah, overall everything's perfect. So yeah, I'm all this to say yes, I'm Heartstopper fan.
Yeah. Have you seen Young Royals though? I don't know if you've seen that show. It's really good.
Young Royals?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the first season, the second it came out, and I binge watched it. And then my girlfriend didn't know about it, and I was like, okay, don't look at it even for a second. When I'm with you, because we were long distance at that time, I was like, when I'm at your house, we're gonna binge watch it. And she loved it. And I think it was Christmas, we watched the season 2 together, and I was like, whoa. And I love Young Royals. Really good series.
I cannot wait till season 3. I'm so excited. I actually didn't watch Young Royals until after Heartstopper came out because I think I have a reasoning for that, and that's primarily because do you know the show Julie and the Phantoms? It was quite popular on Netflix.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was a big show, and it got like canceled after a year of its release, over a year, and Netflix was like not saying a word on it, not saying if they're nothing. They were doing all these like low key crappy shows, but they kept like being quiet about Julie and the Phantoms. So I was just very upset about that situation that I guess I took my anger out on Young Royals at the time when it first came out. Then after Heartstopper, everyone's like, if you've seen Heartstopper, you'd love Young Royals. I'm like, let me give it a shot. Finished the entire season in 2 days. I could not. I was like, I don't know why I hated on this. This is crazy.
There's one thing I hold a grudge about Netflix is this. The fact of canceling so many promising shows. For example, one of my favorite shows are The Society. I have a poster of them. I have a scene on my wall about it, and it's one of my favorite scenes. And they canceled it. I was like, it is so promising, and there's
the potential was there.
Yes.
There's so many questions that had to be answered. There were so many questions. I was like, okay, what's the ending scene mean? Okay, who was the father of the girl? Who was the father of the girl's kid? I need to know that. That's important.
The guy on the bus, the guy on the pictures, the guy on the bus, and I have so many theories about it. And
what does that smell mean? Does that smell mean something bad's gonna happen? Like,
yeah,
I am angry. I am forever angry about that.
I agree. I agree with the whole canceling series thing because I'm not okay with this. The Society and many others.
First Kill got canceled recently. What else got canceled recently? I don't know. A lot of shows get canceled. It's like, there's so many to keep track. There's so many. You can't keep track of everything.
And they continue on Riverdale. Anyway.
Oh no, Riverdale ending. Thank the Lord above, though. Thank the Lord. That's supposed to end like seasons ago, but it's coming to a close. I think season 7. Thank God. Yeah, it's coming to a close. It's like done. Well, okay. You want to talk about a long season? You should see Supernatural. Supernatural was way too long for my liking, but you know what? It was okay.
I didn't
okay, just imagine 15 seasons of just hunting demons and vampires.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but listen, I liked it at first, and then it just hit like a certain number, and I was like, can you just cut the show here? Like, please? You're kind of making it, you're just milking it, but whatever. Okay. Okay, so I feel like you just recently hit 200,000 followers on TikTok, which is insane. So congrats
Yeah,
on that.
thanks.
Are you thinking about doing like merch at some point? Like maybe I don't know. That's very far away. But do you think maybe doing
Um,
merch or something?
I don't think I don't think so because I don't think I'm that much of a personality to
Yeah.
do anything like this. But well, if you give me a hand to talk about merch, well, there is projects of merch for the Rise of the Order project, so it will be the merch
Yeah.
I would be connected with. But when it comes to merch for myself, I don't think so because I'm just chilling on TikTok. You know, I'm just that one person who likes Regulus and looks like Regulus and is kind of
Yeah.
traumatized.
You're more of a cosplayer than you are really a creator. You're more of a cosplay creator, essentially.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel it would be just
Yeah. But more of a cosplayer than I
maybe
guess a creator with content
yeah,
and
and
stuff. It's
about
kind of you
merch
built
and
off that.
doing stuff like this would be quite self-centered and I don't want to I don't know, maybe people who do that totally valid. It's just I don't feel like I'm yeah no I don't feel like that would be valid for me because I don't see myself that big on internet. But
Yeah.
it's a good question though.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so you might be a big reader, but you also do you listen to like a lot of music and stuff? I'm saying, is music a big part of you, or is it more like literature and entertainment? Like, what's the deal with that? Yep, 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 yep. Oh, it's all music behind you. I just okay, fair enough.
Always. I
Yeah,
always have Guns N' Roses on me. I don't know what's my phone. I lost my phone. It's fine. Oh no, it's here.
it's fine. You'll oh, it's right here. Yes, yes. I don't know.
I have all my passions on my phone case. Marvel. I don't have the Marauders. Marvel,
You
Guns
don't
N'
have the
Roses.
Marauders, Ezekiel. Come on, Ezekiel.
I'm sorry.
Come on. You should just put
And
a
then there's
massive You should, no, you should get a Regulus. You should have like a phone case that's clear, but has like a Regulus quote on the bottom.
I should.
I will find that for you. I will find that for you. Don't you worry. I got you. I'll find that. I'll find it on Redbubble or some shit like that. They will sell that for sure.
I should.
But yeah. But the question is, I have is like, if you can only listen to 3 albums the rest of your life, what albums would they be? Do Guns N' Roses first, because I know you want to do that.
Of course. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to choose between the two, and I never know which song is in which album. But between
Google
the
it.
two,
Check your phone. Check your phone and see which ones you like more.
thank you.
Yeah, because I went to ask me that question. I'm just like, let me go on Taylor Swift's catalog and see which album I need to have, like for sure.
Yeah, that's the kind of tricky question. I'm like, ah. Use your illusion, and in there's.
No, I'm actually going to start thinking about it because I asked my last guest this question, and they're like, "Do you even have a choice?" I'm like, "Absolutely not. I can't even pick my favorite."
Well, the first one would be Use Your Illusion, this like volume 2. So it would be the blue one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fuck. That's the Spirit by Bring Me the Horizon. One of my favorite bands. I didn't listen to their new album, but yeah, this one. And well, it's hard to find a third and last one. Very, very, very hard one. Wait. I'm going to look.
I need to like unlike half of these. These are horrible. I'm
Album.
thinking one from
Okay.
Taylor Swift, Conan Gray, and that's it. And then the third one can be a freebie. I don't care. Billie Eilish, whatever.
I'm very dumb. I know the third
What?
one. I'm very dumb. First one, Use Your Illusion 2 by the Guns N' Roses. Second one, That's the Spirit by Bring Me the Horizon. And the third one is Le Chemin by Kyo. Of course, Kyo. So, like, it's like one of my favorite.
And of course, you have to have a French album somewhere. You got it.
Exactly. It's one of my favorite French artists. This band is wonderful.
Mm-hmm. So do you consider yourself to be a night owl or an early bird? Like, what's your first reaction when you wake up? Like, no, sunshine, absolutely not.
I'm both.
Oh.
I'm insomniac, but when I get to fall asleep, I have always an alarm, like, at least at 9 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot sleep longer in the morning because I'll get grumpy and I'll have this sensory, not sensory because it's not with this sense, but I'll have that impression that I lost the day, and I'll get grumpy and I'll get very, very anxious, and I hate that. And so I'm a night owl, but very, very early bird as well. So I'm both.
It just depends on the day. It also depends what you have to do in the day as well. Because it's like, you know, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, totally.
Yeah. So you're a reader and you're, you know, you love music and you love your fandoms. Are you a video gamer as well, or is it kind of like outside of your forte? Like, are you not a big one on that?
Am I what?
A video gamer.
I wish, but I I wish because I watch a lot of YouTube videos about gamers. And I'm like, wow, incredible! And I used to play a lot of video games when I was younger, but I don't have a single platform of video games.
You don't have
in
a
my
console.
house.
Yeah. Okay.
I just have like Wii U, and I play Splatoon and Mario Kart 8, and that's all. But I would love to. Like, there are so many good video games that I'd love to play, but I can't. But I wish I was a gamer.
Yeah.
That's the
There's
answer.
always time for that, you know.
True.
Yeah.